Welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
Can we just have the whole rest of the campaign be on this ferry? Because I love playing crappy ferryman. He's my favorite. I'm just going to be...
No, Adam, we cannot survive the whole campaign of this. He will be thrown into the water.
But he's the best. All right, fine.
It turns out he's like our
The ferryman
new
didn't want to be a ferryman. He wants to be an adventurer and comes along.
That's right. Nate, it's too dangerous. I'll join you. And this porridge. Disgusting porridge. All right, so we have a very important roll to make.
Yes. Extremely important.
So,
Also,
right,
this was a ferry and not a showboat.
So
Heyo.
as soon as the ferry is what would you call it?
underway.
Setting off.
Off the dock, yeah. I climb up onto the rope and balance there and attempt to walk along while the ferryman is like pulling along the rope.
Okay.
So is this guy like physically like pulling us?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Does-
arms like
Does inspiration go from game to game? Do I still have
definitely.
inspiration? I don't know. I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay. All right.
and probably get some too.
So it's a fairly thick rope, so not too like narrow for you to walk on. So that's a good start.
But I guess it's wet and
but
windy.
it's wet and it's windy.
And I'm wearing the most billowing sleeves in the universe.
Yeah, you just get
Also-
picked up and fly away.
With these rope ferries, it's not like the rope is taut across the distance.
Yeah.
The rope
Yeah.
is, like, in the water.
It sinks,
most of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So it's
But he's like pulling it, so
the
it's got to
thing
be
is,
like
you'd have to be in front of him because he's the one that's got it taut. So
Then
as
I
Yes,
he's
you're like
pulling-
walking along as he's pulling the rope.
Then I am.
Yeah.
All right. So, cool. I mean, even a 17, I think would have got it. So you spend this journey, not in the ferry. You never actually enter the ferry, but stay on the salty rope.
I just walk along the rope,
I'm
balancing.
just imagining what does the ferryman do with this teeth thing, like walking along in front of him as he pulls the rope.
tail swishing in his face.
Yeah, he just like is grumbling. He's like, "Ain't no way to take a ferry. Paid gold, might as well sit down. Installed the benches for a reason." But otherwise, for everybody else, it's a pretty miserable trip. You're wind battered very regularly. The waves of the bay like come splashing up over the edge. So by the time you arrive at the island, you're soaked.
I mean, as a druid of the coast, am I just like, yes?
I mean,
Or am I still
Yes.
it's your choice as to how yes you
mean,
are.
I don't know-
But
I
also,
don't know.
what kind of coast? Like, are we talking about like? I mean, the Baja coast is very different from like the coast of Maine, right? Like,
No,
Okay.
it's from around here, right?
I'm from around here, I would guess. Like the quivering forest and all that. Like I'm familiar.
okay.
You've said previously.
Then no, yeah, you're fine. This is normal weather for you. Maybe like a bit unseasonally intense,
Okay.
but still
But
not.
it's exhilarating.
Yes.
Refreshing.
Yeah,
I'm just
refreshing
like-
in the way that cold ocean waves can only be. Yeah.
This is the best.
Yes, it's great. Just
There's a lot.
Grand.
While I'm walking along this rope, there's a lot of. See, no problem. I got this.
Saris is actually Elven for salt encrusted murderer, so that's fine.
One of these days I'll be exactly like that ferryman.
That's right. He's actually an elf.
You'll grow a huge beard.
Yeah,
Yes.
true. That's your final form. You shapeshift into a ferryman. So you arrive at the shore, and the boatman lets you off, and he's got another little hut on this side, so he's just like gets off the boat, takes his now saltwater logged breakfast from Graveris, and he's like, "Gonna go finish this," and like heads off towards his other hut. So
Yeah.
from where you are, you can see up there's a dirt road. The island is covered in woods, like fairly heavy woods. There are a few little like areas that have been cleared for farms and farmhouses, but trees block the view of the village from your landing. So you can see the smoke of their chimneys sort of like rising up above these trees. Imagine like it's quite dark still, despite being daytime, because the sun is blocked by heavy cloud. The trees are like a dark green, like almost blue, like pine trees. It's a big, stout pine tree sticking up from this island, and the island's quite rocky. So there's like a rocky shore here, and there's a shore on the other side that the village is likely bordering. So you can walk all the way around the thing in like an hour. You can cross it, and you could explore the whole island if you wanted to within the rest of the day. But the village lies up ahead of you, over a little bit of a crest and through some woods.
So the ferryman, he walked away. He doesn't want to talk to us or have any.
You could talk to him. He's just like, nope, I'm gonna go finish my breakfast. And he's like pouring the salt water off the top of his.
I mean, he probably wouldn't give us any good information anyway. He didn't have anything to say before we left. Like, chances are now he wouldn't either.
I mean, you didn't really try to ask him for any information. You were just making a business transaction.
Well, I asked him about the people, and he said, "You're odd." And
yes, that's true. But he was busy pulling the rope. It's up to you. You could try to pursue a conversation with him further, or you can be like, "See you later."
I mean, I could ask him. Do you like now that we're here? Like, do you know anything of the people that live on this island? I just want to know about them before we just go waltzing into their homes, their area. Like, is there anything that we should know?
If you're just asking him, make a persuasion check.
A persuasion check.
Yeah, see if you can persuade him to tell you anything.
All right.
Keeping in mind that the last time you tried to persuade something, it attacked us.
Yeah, he turns into a wolf and bites you. Kills both your horses. Yeah, he says to you as you're leaving, you interrupt him. You're like, what should we know about the island? And he says, he shakes his head. He's like, nothing to see here, just a village. You'll be turning around soon enough, asking for a ride back. I hope you've got the gold.
Trust me, we have enough to pay to get across.
While this is going on, can I just say to everybody, like, whoever's looking at me, I'm like, see, I fucking did it. All the way.
Sadly, no one seems to be like applauding you.
And if people, everybody's like looking away, I'm like, hey, come on.
I'm an encourager.
I just wanted to know. I mean, it looked far. Good job. You did it. You are not dead yet.
The next trick is if I can do it walking backwards.
Ooh.
I would like to see if you can do it underwater.
I'm not really a fan of that.
Like, why don't you go stay underwater for several hours?
It wasn't hours. It was like minutes. It's one arrow shot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't think that I'm going to get anything out of the salty sailor man. I suppose we should just go find out about the village ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the rest of the day, right? Like when the moon rises, then that's the time that if you're in the right place at the right time, the attack's gonna happen. So.
I mean, do we want to ask the boatman if he's heard anything? Like, do we already ask him? No. About ghost ships? I mean, he's a ferryman. Boats, ferries. Do we want to ask him?
I don't think he seems very knowledgeable or talkative particularly, but you're welcome to ask him.
I feel like we should probably go to the village over there.
I'd rather head to the actual town.
All right.
Okay. All right. So he
They impose a pirates.
He gives all of you one last kind of like glare before returning to his island home. And you want to head up to the village?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it takes a few minutes to sort of climb the hill. It's rocky and sort of most of the mud and dirt has been washed down to the shore. So you're kind of like moving from stone to stone and like coming where there's a path. And when you first see the village, your first sight comes as you crest this wooded hill and you look down into the village, and it's underwhelming. To call it a village might be stretching things a little. It's not much more than a collection of hovels. There's what looks like a barn and a centrally located fire pit. As you reach the top of the hill, the storm abates slightly, so it's only kind of like drizzling for now, but the clouds are still heavy and dark. As you exit the tree line, folk peer out from their houses or from the porches where they stand with dirty faces and wide eyes before scowling and turning away.
I would like to head directly towards this like central fire pit area.
Okay, all right.
Just me personally. Anybody else, do whatever.
Yeah.
I'd go with Sahiri, I think.
Did anybody stay hidden, or are you all like approaching as a group? Because it's fairly easy to like stay hidden in the woods and like you can move around outside the village within them.
I'm not super fussed about the people and what they have to say about stuff. I'm thinking about if this attack happens, I need to look at like advantageous positions, a place where I could potentially like hold up and help them evacuate by like attacking from afar. This boat that comes in. So I guess I'm skulking around,
You're skulking,
looking at the rest of the island and stuff, as opposed to going up and talking to people. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
the lane skulk.
It's important. You gotta have somebody to skulk.
What about Graveris? What's Graveris doing?
I mean, I'm looking for some people to
Cool. I'll solve that problem.
fleece.
So I make my way to the central like fire pit area. Is there a fire? I guess it's raining, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can see that there are some people gathered around the fire pit. They seem to be like stoking it, and like it actually didn't go out during the storm. It's got like a bit of like a covering and seems to be like still smoldering underneath. But before you can get to it, a young girl, she's got a excited grin plastered on her face, but she looks filthy. Like she's wild, dirty hair. Her clothes are little more than rags. She's got one shoe. So this grinning girl with this pockmarked face runs up to you with obvious excitement, and stops in front of you and says to, I guess, all of you, but sort of I guess to Zahiri because you're in the front. She's like, "And who might ye be outsides?" She like folds her hands over her chest and like looks up at you, kind of like.
Well, my little friend, follow along with me. And we'll introduce everybody. I just want to do it all at once so that we don't have to like go around to everybody in the town and say who we are. This'll work a lot better. Just come with me. Just come with me. It'll be fine. And I keep walking towards the fire pit.
So she follows you and she's like, she shakes her head and she's like no one here will want to speak with ye. They're very unfriendly. Not me though. I'm Elisent, and she like puts her hand out to like get you to like shake her hand.
I take her hand and I start shaking. I go like, I think you'll find I have a very winning personality, and I bring people around. So I keep going towards this fire pit.
Okay, yeah. So she follows along behind, and she's like, "Where did you come from? Are you staying long?"
Just asking questions.
Just asking lots of questions about you, where you're from, how long you're going to be here. What are you
Can I
doing
ask
here?
her, like, how many people live in your village?
She looks at you and tilts her head. She's like, "Not many. Never learned to count."
Ah. You never learned to count anything. How old are you?
She looks at you and she's like, she shrugs. "Don't know."
Cool.
You would guess she's between like 10 and 12.
And she's never had to count anything in her whole life.
She doesn't know numbers.
We're from across the ferry, you know.
She nods. She says, "I saw the old man bring ye aboard. You came from outsides. Big city, maybe?
Yeah, actually.
Are you from far?
Are
you going back soon?"
Do you know the cities around here?
She shakes her head. She's like,
then yes.
What does it matter?
Big city. I'm trying to be like as nice as I can to this girl, and I'm assuming we make it to the fire pit eventually.
Yeah, totally. You get down to the fire pit, and so the fire pit itself is it's lit, but it's still struggling a little bit. It's got like damp wood. There's a big metal bucket full of something over the fire. They seem to be like trying to heat it. And there's a sheet of kind of dirty looking like cheesecloth stretched over and like on the bucket over the top.
I look over at Graveris and go, "You want to talk to people, right?"
Yes, we should get whatever information we can.
All right.
And warn them.
And as you're approaching, you notice the only other people around, like there are folk in their like huts, but the only people around here, the people that you saw tending the fire, there are 3 elderly women. They're wearing long, like gray robes. One of them is stoking the fire. The other one is doing something with some like earthenware jars, and the third is smoking a pipe. And they haven't really noticed you as you approach. And
Okay.
Elisand, as you walk up, she says, "The pit is local place for speeching with crones." And she points to the old ladies, and she's like, "They always clean to drink. All need the drink." And like points at the bucket, and like smiles at you, like, "See, I'm telling you things. I'm useful and interesting."
The drink.
She nods. "Aye."
What do you do with the drink? You drink it?
She nods. "Aye." That's...
Really?
Yeah.
Is it water?
She shrugs.
Like as falls from the sky.
She shakes her head. "No, as falls from the sky is rain. The drink is the drink."
Does it taste like the water that falls from the sky?
She like squints at you. "I don't rightly know."
What does it taste like?
Siri.
Now that we're in like the central area, you can tell Zahiri's like chafing to like do something grandiose.
Of course.
Sure.
So while you're having this conversation, and I've confirmed with Graveris that he wants to talk to people, I am going to use thaumaturgy to increase the volume of my voice 3 times. And from the central area here with the fire, I'm going to shout, "Ladies and gentlemen, dwellers of the village, we have come from a very long distance to visit your small abode. It's very charming. Now, if you come out and watch, or from your windows, or wherever you're comfortable, I understand. I'm new. We're new. You don't get a lot of that. That's fine." This is all at like 3 times volume.
Sure. Yeah.
Zahiri is the worst. She says, "If you could focus your attention and eyes on me, I will show you something fantastic."
Okay. So from the outside of again, like the town is very small. There are maybe like a dozen like hovels. So you can see all this happening. We'll see it from Lane's perspective, so from a bit of a distance, and Zahiri is getting everybody's attention. The hovels, most of them are still standing. There is one hovel that is like half collapsed that doesn't appear to have anyone living in it, but the stone chimney still has some smoke rising from it. It's not a suitable house for a family, but someone seems to be like occupying the place, if not living in there. There's also, like I said, the barn off to one side. You can see a couple of kind of sickly-looking goats standing around the outside of the barn, eating some weeds. And then attached to one of the houses closer to the little like docks that they have that lead out into the Moonsea, you can see what looks like a smokehouse maybe attached to one of those houses. So from the windows or the porches of these little hovels, some very beleaguered-looking sea folk kind of like peer down at Zahiri, being unusual. So Zahiri, what's your intent here? Just like get everyone's attention, or
I'm just trying to get everybody to look at me.
okay,
Basically.
sure, yeah. I don't think you have to make a roll for that. I think thaumaturgy is enough to get everyone's attention. Certainly, the three crones.
My intent is to appear friendly and like entertaining, obviously. But
Yeah, the crones have sort of stopped what they're doing temporarily to watch. The old woman with the pipe kind of like takes a long drag off it and gives you a weird look. But yeah, if there's anything else you want to say, you definitely have their attention. Elisand is just like watching, like, how exciting.
now that everybody's watching, I have a few tricks I'd like to share. You know, and then my friend Graveris, I think he wanted to talk to you all about something a little more
Serious
call
and
it, Graveris? Like
life-threatening.
more serious, yeah. But first, let's do the tricks. Saris, could you stand just right here for me? Like, kind of bring Saris to a point if she lets
Do you
me.
physically drag me?
I try and sort of like move you, you know, like just right here, just
Let me introduce my beautiful assistant.
yeah. Well, exactly, one of those.
I think that yes, I allow myself to be moved, but I do not move myself.
Okay, so I
But
just
you would have to, like,
I just kind of like pull you over and leave you there. Now, as many far and wide know, I, Zahiri, otherwise known as Lackadaisy, am a creature of grace and charm and elegance and nimble quickness. Observe. And I like hop into the air and land in a handstand, like on the ground. And then just right myself straight away.
Yeah.
See? Easy. Now, the ground, that's a little bit of a surface, you know? I understand that that's not super impressive. But what would you say if I did it from the shoulders of my lovely assistant here?
You're going to stand on my shoulders.
It's part of the show.
If you stand on my shoulders, I will light your skirt on fire.
This is going to be interesting. I just said I was going to do it. Okay! We'll talk about this later, Sarah. Perhaps you'll allow Graveris. You're a little bit larger of a surface, but it should work. Just come over here and just try and pull it over as well.
Yeah, sure.
And then I go, everybody, eyes on me, and I nimbly, quick as a snake, climb up Graveris to stand on his shoulders.
Okay.
And I am standing on Graveris' shoulders, and I go, and 1, and 2, and 3, and I push off, backflip, and land with my hands on Graveris' shoulders, if possible.
Ooh, impressive.
Like upside down, yeah.
I'm really glad that I didn't let you do that to me because I'm not strong. I'm not strong.
All right. Why don't you make it's technically a performance. Make a performance check.
Alrighty.
Because it's not so much about whether you can do the acrobatics. I think that's sort of a given. It's just about how impressed people are. Nice.
I'm helping, right?
Yes, you are helping, but merely by being the pedestal upon which Zahiri is down. So yes, you crit. You succeed. And there are a few. We get a few like reaction shots probably of the crowd. Like the crones, they're watching, but they're all just kind of like have this impassive look on their face. The little girl, Elisand, is like clapping, and she's like, "Oh, tis quite a thing to see." And several of the hovel villagers, like we see like a husband and wife, and the husband like smiles at the thing, and then the wife scowls at him like, "Don't smile at the outsider," and he like yes, we're gonna scowl.
Scowl.
Yeah. So we get some of that, and like you've definitely made an impression on them, but like this is very strange. I mean, you're acting, I think, in a lot of ways like they expect outsiders to act. You're just showing up and being loud and strange.
Mm-hmm.
I while perched, hands on Graveris' shoulders, upside down, I remove one of my hands and just balance with one, and then I attempt to spring off of his shoulders and land after a backflip on my feet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you do. Obviously, take inspiration from all of that. And yeah, you've cemented what they already thought about you, which might be beneficial or might not, depending on the person. But nobody's like rushing out to meet you. And in fact, I think at this point, like Zahir, you're realizing like this is a weird crowd. Like that was impressive, and also you're a tiefling, and like they're not really like They're very. There's something about these people where they're all just like meh, 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 grumble. Like, yeah, it's strange.
Something in the drink.
There's something going on here.
Can I roll insight regarding all this?
Yeah,
Yeah, because I guess you've got a front row seat to the reactions.
that's right.
Is Zahiri essentially helping me with this? Like,
I think so. Yeah, sure.
cool. I got a 19.
Okay.
And we're getting a little help from Mask.
Okay.
So that's a 22.
Sure. Yeah. So you peer out through Mask's eyes, and yeah, I think the thing here is there's something. I mean, they may all just be like grumpy villagers, right? Like not everybody likes Zahiri's brand of tomfoolery, but
That's true.
I mean, me least of all.
but there's just no like yeah, they're just not reacting really like at all to any of it. For the most part, aside from the girl, like Elisand is the only one who's acting like anything like a normal person. Like she's acting like a kid would when
Everyone's
she sees
just in
something.
some kind of drugged stupor.
I mean, it's hard to say what's going on, but they're all like kind of jaded and cranky looking.
Cool. I'm going to walk over to the old ladies.
Yeah, I want to talk to the crones too.
Okay.
I am spending my time talking with the little girl.
Okay. Yeah.
My one fan.
Yeah. So she tells you, she's like, "'Twas the finest thing I've ever seen. Such tricks."
I can teach you how to do it. It's really simple.
She shakes her head and she's like, No, not for me. I don't think.
Look, it's really easy, okay? Just follow me. And I push myself up into a handstand. See? No problem.
She's like, Nay, 'tis not for me to be upside down.
Here, look, no, I'll help you. And I like, if she's cooperative, I like hold her legs upside down.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think she just wants you to like do stuff so she can watch and be amused.
Oh.
Yeah, she's just like, I don't know. She's very timid in that regard.
Okay.
So while that's happening, Graveris, you're gonna go over and talk to the crones.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So these three old ladies, and by the time you walk over to them, they're tending to this big pot. So they've taken the cheesecloth. The cloth is staying on, I guess, and they're pouring. One of them is pouring the contents of the urn, this water, through the cheesecloth into the thing, and it's like catching little bits and pieces of debris.
It looks like clear water.
As far as you can see, yeah. The other one is like crouched down and is like poking at the fire, keeping it going. And the three of them are just they're not talking. They're just like looking at each other and going about their work.
Are you the authorities on this island? If we were to want to speak to someone, would we speak to you?
They one of them looks up and she says, "Why have you come here, outsides?"
We think you're in danger.
The other one says, "In danger from old age, perhaps." And then the third like chuckles at the joke.
At least they can laugh, right? I mean,
It's
that's
mean laughter though. Like it's not like mirthful. Like hee hee hee. We're all having a great time. It's like it's the chuckling of the damned. Like she just
okay.
She cackles. She laughs like a Dark Souls NPC.
Okay. I have a clue.
It's okay.
Reverse.
Yeah, I'm just like stonewalling them.
Okay, you're stonewalling.
Like stupid joke. And then I'm just like, I don't know if you would find it funny. I don't care. But you're certainly next in line to be raided by pirates. And if you care for these people, you'll do something to help secure them. We're here to help. We need your cooperation.
One of the crones says, pirates. You've lived on the moon sea a long time. You never seen no pirates outsides. They know better than to come here. And the other one chuckles and says, "So long as the fire burns, so thrives the village."
Can I? I could just. Well, okay, I'm not gonna do that because that'd be bad. That'd be bad. That would be a bad thing. As long as the fire burns, so thrives the village.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Why would the pirates not come here?
One of them, and like they're moving around and doing different jobs, so it's hard to tell. Like I'm just gonna speak as one NPC because they all kind of like take turns.
Okay.
Are they sharing an eye?
No, they're not. They're not one person. They all bear like a vague resemblance, but they're so like old and wrinkly and sea worn that it's hard to tell whether they're like sisters or what the deal is.
Or if everyone in this village is just inbred?
That's also certainly a possibility. So you said, why wouldn't the pirates come here?
Yeah.
One of them says, why? Because of us, of course. 3 ancient witches with great magic. We turn them all to toads or enslave them to our will. And then another one laughs and she's like, I could use a pirate or two in my bed.
It's a ghost ship.
What is it about the fire that you think keeps them away? You said as long as the fire burns.
The crone closest to the fire says, not think, no. So long as the fire burns, so thrives the village. And the other two nod, like obviously.
You call this thriving?
They like look around and kind of like nod all together, like yep. They all agree.
I mean, Gravaris, would you like to threaten them? I could threaten them.
Should we threaten them? I didn't threaten them.
Like whispering, like I could.
Rumor is it's a ghost ship coming through. They might not respect the typical treaties or boundaries that other pirates did.
Yeah, one of them looks at you and she says, I haven't been afraid of ghosts since I was a little girl.
I mostly am in the business of making them, so it doesn't bother me.
And one of the other ones says to the one you're talking to, she's like, I think the handsome young man likes you. So brave. And the crone nearest to you kind of like squints at you through cataracted eyes, and brushes a strand of like greasy gray hair from her face, and says, so you're a killer, are you?
Yes, and I'm afraid you're a little young for me to be pursuing your favor.
She scowls and she's like, you'll never know what you're missing. And she looks over at the pot and she says, then, if not that, why not let your granny tend to you? You must be hungry, long trip across the way. Have some drink. We've food as well. And you look over and they've got a little this little like stone block that has some like cutting implements on it, like a knife and some other things. And there's like a headless chicken like lying on it, half plucked. And she like looks at the pot.
Can I just like ask why we've come here to stop the pirates from coming to Flan, right? And we were put up to that by some Harper or something.
Some kind of quest-giving jackass. No, it's the death priest guy who is like, there's supposed to be ghosts, and that's a bad time, and no one believes us. And
Brother Beef's friend.
That's right.
Okay,
Beef's superior.
and then my druid enclave sister lady.
Yeah, they want you to find out what's causing all the weird weather.
Causing the weird weather, and this storm is not the weird weather. This storm is just what this is, right? You said that this was natural.
Well, I mean, it's unseasonal, right? It's not like an evil wizard is making it happen, but the weather shouldn't be this bad now. That's just like true.
So it's a natural occurrence. It's not like this is.
Yeah, you don't know the source of it, but it's like your druidcraft isn't like 100% able to tell you like yes or no that this is like this is what the weather, the world's weather is like. It is the weather that druidcraft expected, but it's still shit and shouldn't be, right? It's way stronger than it should be. Yeah. You can't use Druidcraft to tell whether it's natural weather or not. because
Well, but
it's-
Druidcraft would say what the weather is going to be, and if it were influenced by something, wouldn't it be different than it was supposed to be?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure something out.
I mean,
Okay.
Druidcraft, it's matching up, and you can say that it's not like sudden magical. Like if someone cast a spell to make a storm appear in the middle of a sunny day, Druidcraft wouldn't tell you like, oh, it's going to
It's
be
gonna be
stormy.
stormy.
Yeah, you would be like,
So
oh,
it's
it
not
shouldn't.
that
Yeah.
type
It's-
of
yeah,
occurrence,
yeah,
but
exactly.
it's definitely
It's wrong.
unseasonable.
It's definitely wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Is it located just here, or is it like the clouds like extend along the coast and?
I mean, it's you're still in the same region, so the storm is present in the whole area.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out what our goal is. We want these people to cooperate with us so that we can save them, or just see the ghost ship, because if it's coming here, it's coming here regardless. Gervaris, we don't need their cooperation. Like, if they want to die because of pirates, then we can let them. What we need to do is see the pirates, perhaps fight them, perhaps find out how to stop them. That doesn't mean we have to save these people.
Yes, well, I'm hardly invested in the matter. I'll pass on lunch. I know better than to eat the food of witches. And I walk off.
Yeah, they
Wait, food? Oh man!
Yeah, and to Zahiri, I'm just like, you could try their drink as I walk past.
Yeah, they
What is
they
this
cackle at you as you leave Gravaris, like, oh, you're wising up, and like one of them makes like a little like evil eye at you. Yeah.
What is this drink? The little girl said that you give it to everyone in the village.
Yeah, one of the crones nods and she says, "It is the only safe thing to drink here. Would you like some?" And she like dips a ladle into the pot and like brings up, and it just looks like clear water.
Can I accept a cup and like smell it or see what it is?
Yeah, I mean, she just wants you to drink out of the ladle, so she's like.
Oh, she wants me to drink out of the
She's
ladle.
just holding it up to your face.
Can I have it? Do you not have cups?
She shakes her head and says, actually, she doesn't say anything. She just gestures like, ladle.
Ladle.
But the ladle, though.
I mean, can I it just looks, smells, and is like water?
Yeah,
Even,
I mean,
right next to my face?
the crone herself has a vaguely fishy scent, but the water at a glance appears to just be slightly murky water.
And it
Look, just drink it. It'll be
I
awesome
drink it.
regardless.
I drink it.
Lean over and sip it. Yeah, it just tastes like. I mean, it's warm because they're boiling it, so
Yeah,
you
obviously.
it's a ladle full of kind of funny tasting water, as far as you can tell. You don't immediately
Funny
die.
tasting?
Yeah, it just has kind of it could be the inside of the bucket's not very clean, or there's lots of reasons it could taste funny, but it doesn't. Yeah, you don't just drink it and die or anything. It just tastes
I don't
like
turn into a.
No. Yeah.
Don't turn into a zombie ghost pirate.
No. And I think that Zahiri, the girl, Elisand, sees Saris and drinking and is nodding, that's the right thing to do. She's like, yeah, see, let's see, 'tis safe.
Yes, tastes sort of like ancient pot.
That's a true statement. Yep.
I address the crones, and I'm like, we're trying to help you. If you really think a fire is going to protect you from pirate ghosts or whatever, then you're idiots.
Yeah, and they laugh at each other, and they're like, one of them says, "An elf you might be, but old as us, you're not. We've seen many things come and go, and we need no help from outsides like you."
And the fire's been going the whole time.
The other one nods.
Can I
keep it
produce
lit.
flame in my hand and be like, it could be unlit?
They kind of look at each other like they're not sure if you're really threatening them or not.
I am threatening them.
But you get the impression that this is serious. That if you just like try to like kick the fire, probably the whole village would be like, "Whoa, our sacred fire! Don't do that."
Sorry. So they're just looking at me. They're not like.
Yeah, they've stopped
addressing-
like cackling and just are kind of like staring at you.
I
And
think you should leave the fire alone. Sarah's not.
Do you wish all of these people to die?
I don't want to have to fight angry villagers. I've just made friends with some lovely people through a show.
At the change of the moon phase, we are almost certain, right, that this village will be attacked. And if it is like the other villages, it will be burned to the ground and there will be no survivors. We're trying to help.
Why would putting out the fire change any of that?
Get them to listen to us.
I think they're listening pretty good right now.
yeah, they're definitely listening now.
Will you let us protect you? We will keep the fire burning. If you will ignore us,
The one of the crones just shakes her head and she says, "Do as you will. We need no protection." And like scowls.
I let the fire from my hand like dissipate and I just turn away. I'm just like, okay, fine. And assuming that they're all gonna die, I pat the little girl on the head and said, "You seem nice," and then like just go to where I assume Lane is.
Sure, yeah, Lane, where are you? You've disappeared, so if you don't want to be found,
Where I assume Lane is to be anywhere.
Anywhere outside
just
the
look
village.
around. Where's Lane at?
Yeah. So, like I say, I wanted to check out the island where, like, if there's, I mean, there's obviously going to be coast on it.
Yep.
But where perhaps ships would land, where we are, like, facing out to sea, just to see kind of what the situation is going to be there. We need to stay here to at least see the beginning of the attack.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm kind of tactics rolling it. sort
Okay.
of thing. Somewhere.
I mean, you can just make a let's make a perception check and then see how we do from there.
Could I perhaps angle for investigation since I'm spending a lot of time and like
Yeah,
checking
sure.
things out?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Okay. Slightly better at it. Not very good though.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, you get the overview of the island, right? Like there's a little like dock where they would have some boats. So this landing, it's a slightly sheltered portion, and there are some boats there with like fishing nets in them. That's actually where the ferryman went. So he's over there, and he seems to be helping a couple of men and women tie down some boats. There's again the hovels that I described. There's the barn, all those other buildings, and then there's the only part you haven't like been able to really explore at all is the like dark wood. There's this thick, dark, underbrush filled pine and walnut forest that takes up most of the island, and you'd have to like actually delve into it to go and check things out. And that's it. That's the village. Do you have any like? I mean, I guess you only got a 9, so you can't really like find out any more specific stuff than that, I guess. But you've got a good idea of the general layout of the island and what's there.
That's totally fine. Yeah, so I guess I make this around avoiding the forest, and if they wanted to head away from the town, they could find me just kind of on the outskirts. Like, I'm kind of far enough away, people watching them might not know I was there, like around a corner behind a tree, but I'll make myself known.
Yeah, Graveris like comes looking for you.
Yeah, and I would happily be like, right, had a look around most of the island. The only place I've not headed into is this forest here.
Seems Saris would be best suited to do that.
I could look in the forest. Those women are frustrating.
Yes, and I think our efforts in town were somewhat fruitless. Who knows if these...
They seem to think that they're just invincible. Nothing will harm them. Nothing will change their tiny, horrible town.
Usually when I see someone so confident surrounded by so much squalor, it means they're
controlling
You know,
things.
some criminal element.
Well, I tried some of their drink. We'll see what that does. If anything, it tasted like water.
It's
Best of luck.
Yeah,
feel
well,
like
if I
that's
die,
particularly
you can
ill-advised.
have all of my golds here.
Just to
What?
see
What?
happens.
I buried it in your outhouse.
Oh,
Interesting
choice.
Yeah. I don't need it. I'm like a dragon.
Well, your if your persuasion hasn't worked, we have some use of your talents over here. There seems to be most of the island is covered in wilderness, and you're much more suited to this. As
Yeah.
Tavares says than we are.
Did you? Is this little adventure meeting taking place with Elisand with you? Like, did you?
No.
Is there, okay, so where's she at? Because she just follows you everywhere you go.
She would follow.
Oh yeah, she doesn't. She just leaves.
Then
She's following you
I-
around.
Then I rescind that I'm present.
Okay,
And I,
it says here you're
I
with her.
entertain the girl.
Okay, so yeah, I guess meanwhile, then like you're just like in the town. The Elisand says to you, so here, she's like, your friends are strange, but I like them. I'm strange as well, or so say the other villagers. Would you like to look around? I know everything about the village and the island too.
Sure, I definitely like to look around. Show me where you hang out and where you live and stuff.
She says, yes, this way, and like takes your hand, and leads you in the direction of the like ruined hovel. And when you get close to it, she points and she says, that's me house before mother and father taken by the chill fever. Now we keep the madman there. It was fun for a bit. Now mostly stays to himself.
Well, where do you stay?
She shrugs. Here and there, under eaves when it rains. 'Tis cold.
Yeah, I bet. There's a madman in there?
She nods. Indeed.
That's a
Well,
thematic element to this dungeon's.
where
module.
where else? Where else is interesting? Show me the interesting places,
Yeah. So she points across the way, and you can see this mostly empty, like large, like barn with the goats outside. And she says, "That is the barn, house for young goats." And she just like stares at you, like, "See, I know things. That's the barn. Goats go there."
Yeah, you gotta keep your goats somewhere.
And she points across the fire pit, the little like central area, to another house where this is the big house with all the like smoke coming from the roof. She says, "That's the smoke house, not wheel air, but good eats. Umberto lives there. Well, not in, but near." And points at another house.
Umberto's the cook.
She kind of like squints and says, Umberto smokes the fish, gives meat to the village.
Oh, fair enough. Anything else?
She gestures around at all of the hovels and says, these are homes to the folk. Outsiders must not have homes.
Why are the folks so grumpy? I thought my show would bring some people out of their homes, so they seem to be sort of hiding.
She says, is their way to be sour? 'Tis the way of the folk, since always.
Oh, that doesn't seem like a very fun place to live.
She nods and looks at you, and she says, you get that you've clued in to what she's been trying to like beam at you all along, like, get me the fuck out of here. And she nods and she says, the folk are family, but I have none, no longer.
That's got to be hard. I know what it's like.
And she's like, when would you be leaving the village?
Oh, well, we have to make sure that everybody's safe first. There's like some ghost pirates or something. I don't know. The others know more about it than I do. but we're trying to make sure that they don't take over everything or break everything, because we got to keep people safe if we can, even if they don't like us that much.
She says, villagers be safe. Crones will see to it. Keep the fire lit.
The crones will see to it? What do they do?
She kind of looks at you like she just told you. She's like, with the fire lit, the village will be safe. Keeps the beasts of the sea at bay, or calls them up, depending.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, I mean, if you think the crones, have got this, then we still need to stay just past when we think things are going to happen, and then we'll see where we go.
Okay. So you notice, like, while you're having this conversation, you look up, and one of the hovels nearby, there's a man standing, like, glowering at not at you, but at Elisand. He doesn't seem to approve of her talking to you.
If I see him, I kind of go like, "Hey."
Yeah, he just scowls and then goes inside.
Who's that guy?
She shrugs. One of the folk.
Do the folk have names?
Some. I'm not knowing them all, though. I know most other things.
There aren't that many people here. How can you not know your neighbors?
She shrugs. Plenty I don't know.
Fair enough. I understand that. I might need to talk to my friends for a little bit.
She nods. She's like, "'Tis fine. I'll come with you."
It would be better. It would be better if I went by myself, I think.
She shakes her head. No, not safe alone. I'll go with you. You need a guide.
I'm rough and tough, and I can take care of myself. You've seen, I'm very skilled.
She like looks at you, and her just like little lip is like trembling a little.
I say as I like wring out my long sleeve, like, oh, no, don't get upset. It's okay. It's fine. Like, hands on shoulders, kind of like, it's all right. I'll stay here and I'll wait for them to come back. You can show me some more interesting places, okay?
Yeah. So then she like, "Aye, 'tis fine. I'll show you around." And she like takes you over to introduce you to the goats.
Okay, cool.
While that's happening, could I have been casting Detect Magic as a ritual?
Yeah, sure.
Like sitting like in the, like just like within 30 feet of the village, obviously, because I need to be within 30 feet, but like not like in plain sight casting a spell,
Yeah. You can go down to the other shore, so the hill. You go over the hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I sit down in the mud, and I focus my attention towards the village, but like if there's some nasty thing emanating from behind me, I would probably, it's within 30 feet of me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Aside from yourselves, there's nothing within 30 feet of you that radiates any sort of magic.
And how wide is the village? Would I be able to like feel if the center fire bit was radiating some kind of magic?
Mm-hmm. Well, not from here. You'd have to get within 30 feet of it, but...
Oh, so the village is like wider than 30 feet?
Yeah, you're further away, because you said you wanted to cast it where no one could see you. So you're over the hill and on the other side now.
Mm-hmm. Could I like just hide behind like a shack or something? Like there's no way to get closer? Like I want to be able to sense if the hags are like actually magical.
I mean, you can
move around now.
Yeah, you can move now that you've cast it. It's
right.
So you can like go walk through the village if you want.
I'm gonna walk towards where Zahiri and the girl are. Walk like straight to them, but like I guess I would go through the village to get to the barn area or what have you.
Yeah, you could do that if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Objectively, how adorable is this girl?
I mean, that's so hard to say. Like she's
to quantify. Just because I have a flaw that's like I'm a sucker for a pretty face.
she's not.
but
she's not cute in the like in a traditional sense. Like she's a bit of
Okay.
like she's got some like ragamuffin style cuteness going on, but yeah, like she's got the same kind of like strange islander stalk that the rest of them do.
all right, fair enough.
She looks like she had like a really bad case of like chicken pox or something when she was younger, and so she has like very like marked skin, and she looks like dirty. Like she's malnourished and filthy, right? Like kind of on her own. So
All right, just checking.
yeah, yeah. It's up to you whether you find all of that charming or not.
I mean, she's a kid and she's alone and she's sad and she wants to leave. All of these things resonate with Zahiri. Every single one of them.
Yeah. All right. So Saris, you approach the crone's like fire pit. And yeah, there's no, it's not magic. It's just fire. It's a pit of fire with.
And there's no like magic surrounding the crones at all. They're just old women.
Just old ladies. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say they're just old ladies, but they're not
They're not
radiating magic. Yeah, there's no illusion. There's no like yeah, you're able to detect magic and you detect none.
Okay. So, question from the side: like, if I was right next to a sorcerer, but they weren't currently doing a spell, it wouldn't be like
Nope.
you're magical.
No.
Unless they had like an amulet.
Like
that had
even
magic
even
in it.
Zahiri, like Zahiri is a tiefling, but doesn't radiate magic.
Okay, so they'd have to be actively doing some sort
Sure,
of magic.
or have a magic item on them, or be currently under the effects of a spell. So, like, if
So-
you looked at a charmed person, you'd be able to detect enchantment.
So if they say like having this fire lit is keeping our village safe, if it was a spell of protection that was going because of the fire, I would be able to detect that. But
Sure, but if there's some kind of pact with a god where they're like, keep
That's
the fire
not-
lit, that's not active magic. That's
Yeah,
just a
okay.
thing. And if the fire goes out and the god is like, oh, I'm mad, then you wouldn't be able to detect that. But you can
Okay,
tell
yeah.
that there's no enchantment, there's no magic radiating from the fire, nothing like that.
and gods are real things in this. Okay.
Sure are.
All right. So I get to Zahiri, and I don't detect any magic going on at the time. And I get to the kid, and I guess I drop the concentration because that's what I wanted to know was, are these women like actively doing a spell
Yep.
all the time? And I get to the Zahiri, and I get to the little girl, and I'm like, when was the last time the crones had to call upon the fire to protect your village? Do you remember?
She kind of looks at you and she's like, not how it works, I think. Fire stays lit and the village is safe.
Do you remember anything ever threatening the village or being scary?
She says, only dangers are the sea and the outsides and the dark wood. Never go to the dark wood.
What's in the dark wood?
She says, 'tis the creature will gobble ye.
What does the creature look like? Did they ever tell you?
She shakes her head. No, but 'tis terrible. Never go
How
to
do
the
you-
dark wood. And she's giving this look like, this is serious business. Don't go there. It's a bad time.
What knocked down that house?
She says, 'twas a storm. After my mother and father passed, storm came, no one to repair it. Now only the madman lives there.
So the crones didn't protect that house from the storm?
She kind of looks at you like, that's a stupid thing to say. Like, of course not.
Have they ever called something from the sea? You said that they could do that too. Or they said.
She shrugs. I mean, to be fair, she's like 12, so her memory only goes back like,
Yeah, she doesn't remember them ever like.
no.
So it wouldn't have been like they called ghost pirates recently to attack. Like,
No. I mean, maybe, but
but it's
no.
nothing that she saw. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Zahiri, we should group up and figure out what it is that we're going to be doing when the moon comes and the threat comes or does not.
Sure, Saris. We'll talk with everybody. But she's not gonna leave.
She's 12. What is she going to do? Or 10. She's young. Like, I don't care if she overhears.
All right. Well, I guess you can come, Melisande.
She nods like, good, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's grab our second break here, and at the start of the next bit, y'all are together somewhere a bit away from the village, including your new best friend Elisand, and you can determine where to go.
Yeah.
But stay away from the dark wood because the creature will get you.
Evidently.
All right, we got more D&D coming up after this. Stick around.